All right, last video, or your first one, depending on how you watched it. So this one is complex. This is actually dealing with complex numbers. So this is actually a complex variables question if you took a class on complex numbers. So it's kind of interesting. We're doing this in abstract algebra. I didn't do these when I did abstract algebra, but still a good thing to know how to do. So consider z cubed equal to negative 27i. Find the roots of unity. All right. So essentially what we're asking for is find the solutions to this z. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to show you the general process of how you do this. Okay. So we have that z is equal to r times cosine of theta plus I times sine of theta, which is equal to r times e to the I theta. Okay? I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but it's a true fact, right? Where r is equal to the absolute value of z, which is, this is sometimes called the norm of z, which is just a squared plus b squared, the square root of that. Okay? Okay. And so where a and b, where z is equal to a plus bi. Okay? And that's typically how it works. Okay? So what you do is you take the real part of the imaginary number, which is the a, and you take the imaginary part of the imaginary number, which is the b. I know, creative names, right? And you square root it and you do a squared plus b squared. Okay? So for negative 27i, well, the real part, a, equals 0, and the imaginary part is negative 27. Okay? You don't include the I in there. I is not part of the imaginary part. So r is equal to the square root of 0 squared plus negative 27 squared. Well, that is just equal to 27, which is nice. Okay? But also you need an angle theta. Okay? Now, there are many ways to find this theta, and if you take complex analysis or complex variables, depending on what your institution calls it, you'll have what's called the argument of an angle, right? But here, because this is not a formal complex analysis class, it's just one section on complex numbers, we just say that, hey, theta is equal to 3 pi over 2 since our a is equal to 0 and our b is less than 0. And that's from the instructional materials. Your instructional materials will tell you what your theta should be depending on your situation, okay? But if our a is 0 and our b is less than 0, which it is here, okay? It is here, then our theta is equal to 3 pi over 2, okay? Why do we need that? Because our solutions will be in the form of zk, so zk, and that is equal to the square root, well, the nth root of r times the cosine of theta plus 2k pi over n plus I times the sine of theta plus 2k pi over n. So our solutions are going to look like that, okay, where k is equal to 0, 1, ... all the way to n minus 1, okay? Where k is like our n here, okay? So n minus 1 is 2, because 3 minus 1 is 2. So what we have, k equals 0, 1, and 2. Hence, these are our official solutions, okay? Z sub 0 is equal to, so that's the nth root, so that's 3, the cubed root of r, which is 27. The cube root of 27 is 3, so this is going to be 3 times cosine of 3 pi over 2, because that's our theta, plus 2k pi, right? Well, k is 0, so that's plus 0 over 3 plus, so that's 2. Okay? Let me make that look nicer since this is a video. So that's 2 divided by 3. Okay? Plus I times the sine of 3 pi over 2 plus 0 over 3. Well, that is equal to 3 times the cosine of pi over 2. That looks so much nicer. Plus I times the sine of pi over 2. All right, do we remember trigonometry, right? The cosine of pi over 2 is 0, okay? And the sine of pi over 2 is 1. So this is 3 times 0 plus I, which is equal to 3I. Awesome. That's 1, 2 more to go, okay? So z sub 1 is the same thing. So 3 times the cosine of 3 pi over 2 plus, what is it? 2k pi, so that's 2 times 1 times pi, that's plus 2 pi. Plus 2 pi divided by 3 plus I times sine of 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi divided by 3. Okay? Simplifying all that, what you have is 3 times cosine of 7 pi over 6. Oh, do we remember our unit circle? Plus I times the sine of 7 pi over 6. Okay? And simplifying that out, get everything what it's supposed to be, you actually get that this is negative 3 times square root of 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2 times I. Beautiful. Okay? All right. So we have one more, z2. Okay? So that is 3 times the cosine of 3 pi over 2 plus, now this is plus 4 pi, plus I times the sine of 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi divided by 3. And that is equal to 3 times the cosine. This is actually 11 pi over 6 plus I times the sine of 11 pi over 6. Which is equal to the positive 3 square root of 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2 I. And there you go. those are the roots of unity. So those are all the solutions that work here. Okay? Thank you all so much for watching these videos. If this is your first one, there's more. If this is your last one, congratulations. This is everything that you should need for your quiz. Okay? All the videos that I made. I think I made about 5 of them, or 4. With that said, you all have a good day. And as always, please reach out to me if you have any questions. Bye-bye.